The title for my message today is, if you want to be rich and successful, don't go to university or for further studies. Do this instead. Now, if you listen to this message, or if you just read the title of this message in isolation and you don't take a deeper real look and listen to the full message, you will wrongly judge me. But hey, take time and listen to this message to the end. You'll be shocked at some of the most powerful revelations that I am going to make. Because if you drop this, you'll be making one of the biggest mistakes in your life. And at the end of this video, I have a gift for you. It's an ebook that I will give you. Yeah, so take time and listen. Now, before I delve deeper into what I'm going to say, what is the meaning of education? Education is from the Latin word educo, which means to develop from within, to have power, to develop your mind. Now, if that is the true meaning of education, someone who has spent his entire life or spent like 20 to 25 years in school and comes out and is very restless, sits at home for 5 years and is unemployed, and someone who didn't go to school, he didn't waste his time in school, he didn't waste so much money in school, but he's already gainfully employed and even employing several other people, has the money to do all the things that he wants to do in this life. Who do you think is actually educated? Remember, I didn't say if you want to be rich and successful, don't be educated. I said if you want to be rich and successful, don't go to school or don't go to university. I mean specifically higher education is what I'm even talking about. Don't go to university or don't go for further studies. For example, especially those of you who you have your bachelor degree, you think you are not earning enough, you go back to get a master's degree or PhD. You are wasting your time. Now, there are exceptions to everything. I'm going to give my reasons why I think if you want to be rich and successful, you shouldn't go for further studies or you shouldn't go to university. I will give you my reasons, and I will give you the exceptions. In every rule there is an exception. I will give you the exceptions of the type of people that need to go to university. I will give you all that. The number one reason why I think if you want to be rich and successful, you shouldn't go to university is that university doesn't give the right kind of education, especially in Ghana and most parts of Africa. What do I mean? Typically, you go to university, you learn a course, you come out, and I can tell you that over 80%, unless they are employed, they cannot do anything of their own. Is that really what you call education? If you were really educated, and if you look at the foundation of education and the people who really started education, the education they were going through were education that will help them to be able to think critically, to be able to design solutions to problems, to be able to find a way where there's no way. But that is not what we have in today's educational system. Now, when I talk about don't go to school, I'm not saying you should not be educated. So, school is not giving the right education, but you can be educated in the right way that can help you live the life that you want. For example, you can look for topics, you can look for, in fact, any area of life you want to master. Look for books in that field. Read books. Make it a constant decision to read books every day in that particular field. Not just reading books. Take part in seminars. Take part in skills training. Take part in programs that relate to your chosen area. So if you are able to invest significant amount of time, and I'm not just saying that if you say you want to not just reading one or two books, make it something that is your lifestyle, something that has become your lifestyle. It is not just about reading. It could be any type of skill. Footballers, for example, most of them, they start training early. Most of them don't even go, they don't go that high in education. But when they identify their talent, they invest in what? Training. And they go through several kinds of training. And at the end of the day, they are able to unearth their talent. Now, several of you don't even need to go to university. You don't need to go to university because what you're going to the university to learn and come out, the the system cannot absorb you, and you are not going to be able to use that skill to create something of your own. So at the end of the day, you are wasting time. You're wasting time. So school doesn't give the right education. If you want the right education, you discover what you want. Spend time to read books in that field. Because I will give you my story. For example, I was a teacher under Ghana Education Service. I left the teaching profession about 2.5 years ago, and I'm now on my own. Through personal development and reading books, I have been able to develop a particular area of interest that no one actually looked into. And by the grace of God, I'm doing well in that field. I'm not saying that what went through for me is what everyone must go through, but what I'm just trying to say is that I have colleagues and friends, for example, who were diploma teachers. Then they spent like 15,000 to upgrade to become degree holders, or some 20,000, some even close to 30,000, or some even more than that. Now let's take an example. Someone who spent like 25,000 cedis to do a further education, and for a person probably uses maybe 2, 3, or 4 years to finish. Maybe he was taking small. He thinks that upgrading to degree will help him or her. He spent 25,000 Ghana cedis to further his education, and comes out, and there is an upward adjustment of, in Ghana cedis, for example, 150 cedis or 200 cedis. What you need to ask yourself is, how many years will a person work in order to be able to pay for the debt of what he used for the further education? How many years will he use to work? The person probably, for most of you, you work for 10 good years, and you won't be able to even take care of what you spent to do the further studies. And some of you have taken loans to even do that further studies. So at the end of the day, you are putting yourself in more debt, more suffering, more struggles, and you are not getting the real meaning of that education that you went for. Some of you too, you are bachelor degree holders, you are going for masters, or you're going for PhD. You spend those huge sums of money to do your further education. At the end of the day, you are not getting any significant increment. Now, number 2, the reason why I think you shouldn't go for further studies is that school causes high unemployment. For example, particularly the universities, they cause high unemployment. What do I mean by that? If you look at most of the unemployed group, 70 to 80% of them are university graduates. And every year they keep on coming out with more graduates. Every year they keep on coming with more graduates. And the interesting thing that I ask myself is, these are people that are coming out, and just a tiny fraction, less than 5% of them can create their own jobs. 95% of them, unless they are employed, they can't do anything of their own. And they are coming to add to the numbers, rising cost of unemployment. So what is the essence of that education if the education cannot help them to even create anything of their own? Now, ask yourself, between that person who has spent several years to come out as a university graduate, spend so much money to come out as a university graduate, and is still helpless, and the one who went to learn a trade, and by the time he or she has completed, he or she has already got his or her job doing. He doesn't need anyone to employ him or her. Who do you think is a better person? I'm telling you, I know people who have completed universities 4 years ago and they are still unemployed. I know people who completed 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. They are still sitting and they are unemployed, and they are graduates. So at the end of the day, is the education not causing more unemployment? So if you already have a degree, or you are someone going for a degree, is it not better to rather focus and choose that particular use that particular time to study something, or to invest in something that will rather help you, that will give you skills or make you money, that at least within the shortest possible time you can be independent on your own? Now ask yourself this question: a JHS dropout, for example, in Ghana, despite, and he is a multi-millionaire. If you are even talking of in Ghana cities, he's a billionaire, a multi-billionaire. And then if you are talking of a university professor who takes about 10,000 Ghana cedis, let's say senior professor who takes about 10,000 Ghana cedis, do you think, looking at the two of them, who do you think you want to be? Because despite, for example, is a multi-millionaire, we can talk of people like Joseph Xiao Ejapon, the CEO of Zoom Lion. I'm giving these examples because these are popular examples of people who are school dropouts and are doing very well. Jospon, the Zoom Lion company, the man is an SHS dropout. He has not gone to university. Despite is a JHS dropout. He hasn't even gone to SHS. And yet, he is a multi-US dollar millionaire. He has several millions of dollars. Now, a lecturer who is teaching at the university and is taking 10,000 cedis a month will need to work for like 100 years in order to make 1 million US dollars. So think of that and consider it for yourself. If your goal is to really make money, to cause an impact, to live a decent life, will you want to become a university professor, or you want to become a school dropout with millions of dollars? I will tell you more about the school dropouts who made it. I'm not saying that it's every school dropout that made it, but I'll tell you more about that. Okay, so the fourth one I'll talk about is that school wastes your most precious time. Okay, I think that will be the third one. School wastes your most precious time. School wastes your most precious time. And what do I mean? The average person, you see, by the time you complete university in Ghana, you are around maybe 25, 26, or close to 30 years. Some of us, when I completed my bachelor degree, I was 27 years old. Well, if you take time to analyze, your most precious time that you should actually use to build your future is in your early 20s. In fact, for most people, it's even in your teenage ages. It's in your teenage years, because if you look at hugely successful people like sports people, people who are talented in acting, people talented in music and all that, they start very early. And most of them don't go that high in school. Now, you will waste your most precious time being in school, and by the time you have come out like 27, 28, 30 years, you are still unemployed and you're still looking for a place to settle. At the end of the day, it becomes very difficult for you. But the one who identified his talent early and invested a lot of effort and time to develop his talent at a very early age, he is already far gone. And you will now be struggling. Your most precious years are gone. And you are at 30 years. And you are yet to you don't even know what to settle on in life or what to do. Most of you will go and study course A, and you are coming to do something totally different from what you did in school. So if that is the case, what is the essence of the time that you really wasted in school? For example, myself like this, what I studied in school and what I'm doing in real life, what is giving me my daily bread, are totally two different things. And I most of the time feel I have wasted my time. I'm not saying the course I did is useless. It's not useless. It is something that can help me do a lot of things. But if I had spent time in school to learn something relating to what I'm doing now, I know I would have been more advanced in my field, what I'm doing now, than the fact that I didn't study anything relating to it at school. So my advice will be, you have to identify your purpose early enough. If you are watching this video and you don't know clearly what you want to do in this life, please take your time, think through, read several books. I have a book called Achieving Your Greatest Dreams. That one, I'm selling it. If you are interested in the book, you can contact me. It's a powerful book. It will help you discover your purpose. This is not the one I said I will give you for free. I'll give you the one I will give you for free. I'll tell you that one later. Now, you can contact me if you are interested in my book in the comment section. It can help you discover your purpose and achieve your goals and dreams. Now, but what I was trying to just say is, you must put a concerted effort towards discovering your purpose and avoid time wastage, because this life we live in, you can't live this life twice. Once you lose a day, you have lost that day forever. So you should Invest your time to discover your talent and where you really want to be in life, your life purpose, and then start it early. Don't waste your time going to school for the sake of my friends are going to university, let me also go. My friends are going to do this course, let me also do it. And at the end of the day, you are very miserable. Rather, some of you, if you already have a degree, a further degree is not necessary for you. If your aim is to really succeed in business and all that. Some of you too, if you don't even have a degree yet, I'm not saying you shouldn't go for degree, but I'm saying that it depends on your goal. Most of you don't need a university degree. You could spend that time, that 4 years, to build a solid career that will be making you more than $1 million a year. I'm telling you the truth. Unfortunately, most of you will waste that time and that resources in school, and at the end of the day, you come out and you are even miserable looking for employment. Some of us have made mistakes and we learn lessons early. And we have improved and we are better people now. And I'm sharing my experiences and other people that I know for you to learn from. The next one I will talk about is that school can't teach you to be successful in business. For those of you who are thinking you are going to school, then when you complete school and you start working, you get a good salary, then you will start doing business small. Most of you are deceiving yourself. Why? Some of you don't know that as you age, your ability to take risk is reducing. You have a wife, you have a child, your ability to take risk is reducing. As you are single, there are so many things that you can do that when you get married, you can do. Not just getting married, when you age, as you get older in age, your ability to take risk is reducing. And in any case, school doesn't teach you practical wisdom into business. School basically teaches you to be an employee, not to succeed in business or not to create things. That is why most of you, when you complete school and you come out, even if you don't get employment, you can't create anything of your own, because school does not teach you to really create things. School doesn't teach you to fail. School doesn't teach you to be determined. School doesn't teach you to actually know how to start a business and to succeed to it. That is why I think there is something wrong with our educational system. And most parts of the world, generally, typical educational system is like that. Now, all this while, what I want you to know is that I want you to know that you can be educated without being in school. Because most of you, the wrong notion you have is that to be educated, you have to go to school. And that is the wrong notion. And that is what I don't want you to believe. You can be educated without being in school. For me, since I left university in 2017 to now, I have read over 270 books, and I still keep on reading at least one book every week. I listen to personal development messages every day. In a day, I spend not less than 2 hours reading. I spend not less than 30 to 45 minutes or 1 hour of listening to audio of personal development. So, how will I be stagnant? In fact, imagine those of my colleagues who went to university. How many of them would have read up to the number of books I have read? How many of them will come out of that university and the value they can get from that education will be more than what I get since I left? Because since I left university and I invested my time to learn into technology, into digital media, into digital marketing, into entrepreneurship, I can tell you that my value has increased by more than 10 times, by more than 10 times. These are not just exaggeration, these are reality. My value has increased by more than 10 times, and it's because I read books. Now, I was telling you that there are exceptions. Now, what are the exceptions? There are certain courses that you may need to add, whether you like or not, to build a career in that field. You have to go to school. What are those courses? For example, becoming a medical doctor. You need to go through some training and get some certificate to indicate you are a doctor because of dealing with human lives. So becoming a doctor, a nurse, an accountant, a lawyer, those in the military, you need some professional training. You need some professional training and a certificate. And even those in the military, their training doesn't take that long. But typically, the nurses, the doctors and all that, you need to spend several years in school. So those ones are necessary. But most of you who want to go into business and other areas, you don't need really so much time in school to learn, because school academic education will not teach you how to succeed in business. These are my reasons for why I think that if you want to be rich and successful, you shouldn't go to university or for further studies. And it's not, these are not just the example. If you want, take time to look at the most successful businessmen. Take the 100 richest business people, look at them and tell me if any of them, look at their level of education. Look at the 100 richest people in the world. Take the top 10. Tell me any of them who has a PhD. Most of them don't have masters. They don't even have bachelor degree. Bill Gates, Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett even has a business administration degree. But someone like Bill Gates, someone like Mark Zuckerberg, and others, they have no bachelor degree. Some of them, the highest they have is bachelor. A few of them have masters, and majority of them, 99% of them, don't have a PhD degree. So that tells you that to be influential, even look at the UN Secretary General, Antonio Guterres. Look at him. Even Kofi Annan, who recently died and was a former UN Secretary General. Look at the pastors in Ghana. Not just in Ghana, they're across the world. The most successful, the most influential pastors, they don't have high levels of education. But there are people who have dedicated their time to learn something so well that their impact is greatly felt than the typical pastors, the professors, who they don't have much influence. Now, I was telling you I will give you a certain book. The title of that book is 13 Secrets School Did Not Teach You About How to Become Rich. It is a book written by Steve Courage, a Nigerian entrepreneur. It's a very powerful book, and he has authorized us to share the book with our friends so that it will help. And I have read the book and how this book has changed my thinking and my beliefs. And I know that some of you, if you read it, you are going to have a revolution in your mind. It will help you change your entire world. Take time. You can check the. I'll put the link in the description of this video. If you don't see the link, comment. If you put your comment in the comment section, I will follow up and give you a copy of that book. Okay? I'll follow up with a link that will help you to get a copy of that book, or I will let you WhatsApp me to get a copy. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe and turn on the notification bell and like this video for other more powerful videos like this. Thank you once again. See you in the next.